It is a beautiful day. The birds are chirping this morning and just gorgeous. Anyway, my name is Chelsea Kinsella, and today I thought while we are in the midst of the coronavirus and kind of having to stay at home while some restrictions are being lifted and whatever, it's still an excellent time to kind of do those fiddly things with your horse. And my horses are just there eating their breakfast, so they're not going to be a part of this video. But a good time to, yes, do those fiddly things with your horses or learn more about horses. So some of the resources that I use, because, well, I would have loved to go intern with a trainer or something. I did work with a couple trainers, but mostly after high school I was very in love with horses, but I was told to go to school to do something proper. So I went to school for many years and have then had to work to pay off my student loan. So I haven't really had an opportunity to go and work with a lot of people, but there's some great resources out there in the age of the technology. So the first one that I highly and will always recommend is Warwick Shiller, and he is online, A, on YouTube, and then B, you can get a online subscription for, I think it's $30 US, so like $1,000 Canadian currently. And he has like 700 videos or something, and he's really great for explaining what he is doing and what the horse is doing and what he should be doing, what the horse should be doing with a variety of issues. And he's also right now going into a path of more of a mental connection, so if that's what you're after, that is a really good path for that. He has some stuff on some of the body control, so like doing a flying change or starting a horse under saddle, or how to get your horse to have a good stop, or backing up, or some spins, stuff like that. Another one that I just recently subscribed to because they were having a promo was the Doubledown Horsemanship, and they have an insider's deal, and I think it's $7 US a month, so again like $90 Canadian currently. Not actually, I think it's like 12, not sure. And they have a few videos, not as much as Warwick does, but he has like 700 full length 20-minute plus videos, so it would be hard to beat that. I also enjoy all of Buck's stuff. I don't have all of Buck's stuff because his DVDs, like horse DVDs, for whatever reason, like I realize they're giving knowledge, I grasp that concept, but they are $1,000 a piece, approximately, maybe 300, I don't know. So his 7 clinics are really good. There's the discs 1 and 2, and the 3 and 4, and the 5, 6, 7. And they're really excellent. So the first one is the Groundwork, and he is going through he's at some various clinics, and you kind of have to know what you're doing with horses to pick up what he's doing, because he doesn't do a lot of explaining. However, in his Snaffle Bit series, I just have the first one, because that's at the spot that I'm at is making a snaffle horse. He kind of goes a little bit more in depth and is able to communicate what he's doing, which is neat, versus these ones, well, they are excellent. There's a ton of footage. Like if you watched Buck, like the film, a lot of it comes from that. So they're pretty good that way. Jonathan Field is another guy, and I have more videos. These are just some of the ones that I've watched. A flying lead change one that I got when I was about 12 and I didn't know what I was doing. However, it's still good. It's part 3 of a 5 series. But Jonathan Field is quite like Warwick and able to explain what he is doing. And then if you're into Liberty, Jonathan has, I think I accidentally purchased this. I didn't mean to put it into the cart and go ahead, but needless to say, the $300 set came to me, so I watched it. But it's an excellent Liberty set if you are want to dink around with that with your horse. Because Warwick doesn't do a ton of Liberty, and Doubledown does a lot of Liberty, but I'm just looking at his insider stuff, and I think he has a little bit, but Jonathan has this full series of Liberty right from start to finish. Mostly, like a horse is never finished, but start to finish, and he's really good. And then always check out YouTube. Like Jonathan has his own stuff on the internet. I think he has a YouTube channel, and then some of his Facebook stuff is really good. And some of the stuff you just like have to watch quite a bit, like watch the horse and then watch the rider, and then go play with your horse and see if you think what the horse did is what the horse did in the video, and maybe you can video yourself. Like sometimes I'll video myself and see if what I'm doing matches what the video is doing, and if not, then I go back out and I figure out what I'm doing and ask people along the way. So those are some really good resources that I've been using for the past, I don't know, 10 years or so. Not Warwick for 10 years, but Jonathan for sure. And Buck for like 6. But I didn't really understand what Buck was talking about until I got a little bit better with horses. And Warwick is really good at explaining some of this stuff that Buck is doing. Because all of these natural horsemanship guys, they all kind of do the same thing. Like, they're not wildly different. It's just how they go about it and how they explain it is different. So different styles for different people. I haven't done much with Clinton Anderson. I don't love his style of teaching, but he is effective with some of the belligerent type of horses. And Pat Prilly, he's also pretty good, but his stuff is $1,000,000 compared to Warwick and Jonathan, where they have it at just like $100,000. Pat Prilly is like, whoop, way up there, so I'm a peasant, I can't quite afford that. So I hope that kind of helps and gives you some tips as to where you can find some of these resources that are so widely known, how some of them work out. Like Warwick, excellent at explaining. Again, Jonathan, if you're Jonathan Field for some Liberty stuff. Oh, and some books. There's this one book by, stand by, his name is Dominique Barbier. I probably butchered that, but it's called The Alchemy of Lateness, What Happens Between Horse and Rider on a Molecular Level. And he has that on the Kindle edition, so if you like read on an iPad like I do, or you can buy it hard copy. But he is really cool. He's of the European era, and he is quite good at explaining what you should be doing with your mind, because a big part of how we succeed with horses is what we do, not just what they do, because they're pretty excellent for even just letting us sit on them. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I hope that you're able to spend lots of time with your horses and get outside and enjoy this beautiful spring.